Hey toy fans, I'm D21Beast and welcome back to my figure review series here on my YouTube channel, and today we are taking a look at Nova. Nova comes to us from the Marvel Legends Infinite series Guardians of the Galaxy wave from 2014, and while Nova technically isn't in Guardians of the Galaxy, he is a comic series figure from that wave. So you'll notice the box there features a Marvel logo at the top when it typically has the Guardians of the Galaxy logo at the top of the box there. Nova was a character that was first introduced in 1976 in the comic book of the same name, Nova #1, and he's been a character that's kind of moved around the Marvel Universe with different teams from time to time. I first got to know Nova from the New Warriors in the 90s when he seemed sort of like a dippy kid, but he definitely became much more of a cooler character during the Annihilation and War of Kings storylines that were running throughout the mid-2000s. So let's get started by taking a look at the box here. As we come down the top of the box here, what you're going to notice here is the Build-A-Figure Collection Groot logo in the upper left, as well as the Marvel logo in place of the typically placed Guardians of the Galaxy logo for this wave. And we come down here and we do have a window box packaging that shows you Nova inside and Groot's arm, the Build-A-Figure, off to the left there. And as we come to the bottom of the box here, you do see the Marvel Legends Infinite Series logo, and finally Marvel's Nova at the bottom of the box there. Alright guys, well that's the front of the box. Let's take a look at the back of it here now. Alright guys, as we come down the back of the box here, what you're first going to see is the Marvel Legends logo and the Marvel logo on the top of the box there. And as we proceed downward here, we do have a bio for Nova, and then a picture of the figure inside the box here. And then again, that Build-A-Figure Collection Groot logo. And then finally at the bottom there, you have a complete list of all the figures in this wave, as well as an image of the Build-A-Figure when fully assembled on the left there. That's a picture of Groot. It's also worth noting here that we do have some original artwork of Nova on either side of the box. Alright guys, well that's the packaging. Let's go ahead and get Nova out of the box here and see what this guy is all about. And here we have Nova out of the box, and I gotta say guys, this figure is really slick looking. Dare I say gorgeous looking. I want to take a look at some of the detail on this figure here. Nova here does have a helmet piece that is actually a separate piece of plastic that's actually been glued onto a separate figurehead, so that was a really nice touch. And he's got a separate forehead piece here that's actually attached to his helmet, so they did sculpt pieces, so they didn't do it all in one piece, which is a really nice way to do this. I think it had some three-dimensionality to that Nova figure. He's also, as you come down here, we got some shoulder pads here that are attached kind of at the clavicle bone there, which kind of helps with articulation. We'll get to that in a little bit. And they're painted gold. He does have these gold emblems here painted on his chest, as well as these lights here. I'm calling them lights. I'm not for sure if that's what they are. I'm not as familiar with the newer Nova. And he's got some sculpting here for the abs and kind of this suit look here that looks really great. Sculpted belt there, a separate piece that's actually stuck onto him, I mean. And as we go down, he does have some added on pieces here on his shins and on his forearms. And then the rest of them is just, oh, and he has some gold paint here on his leg. But the rest of them here is this really cool looking plastic. It's kind of this glittery midnight blue sort of plastic mold. I mean, a really nice touch. It adds a lot of depth and dimension to the character and really just makes him shine, frankly. So really like how they put this guy together. As for accessories that this Nova comes with, what you see here is what you get. I really wish that Nova would have come with a flight stand. I feel like that would have been fantastic. For a character whose nickname is the Human Rocket, wouldn't it have been great if we could have posed him in some really awesome dynamic flight poses and just had him levitated above the ground or somehow positioned in midair? I think it would have been really, really cool, and I do think it's a missed opportunity. What they do give us, though, is this arm here. This is the left arm for Groot. So once you get all the pieces together, you can actually build the Groot alien from the Guardians of the Galaxy line. And this Groot arm does have some nice detailing and some nice paintwork on there. As for articulation here, Nova does have a head that'll actually look down that far, which is fantastic. It looks up that far, which is pretty good. Great flight poses there. It does have a head that rotates 360 degrees, and as we look through the shoulder here, he does have a shoulder that rotates 360 degrees, and they've actually sculpted this shoulder piece here so it lifts up, and it's great that they did that so it doesn't get in the way of articulation. His bicep does swivel 360 degrees. He does have a double jointed elbow there. He does have wrist rotation here. It spins 360 degrees, as well as a hinge that moves his hand down a little bit there. It's kind of hindered by the wrist attachment here, and it does lift up a little bit, but again it's kind of hindered by that wrist attachment. He does have the same articulation here on the other side. He has an ab crunch that allows him to bend over that far and bend back only about that far. He does have a waist swivel here, a little bit hindered by the belt, but he can spin 360 degrees if you're willing to kind of bend that belt down to do so. He has a hip joint here. It's not a ball joint, but it's a hip joint that allows his leg to move forward that far. and move back only about that far. He does have an upper thigh swivel here that turns 360 degrees. He does have a double jointed knee here that collapses pretty nicely. And as we come down to the foot here, he does have a foot that bends up that far, it bends back that far, and it does have that fantastic ankle pivot that Hasbro's been including with all their modern figures, so that's really, really great. A really great figure here as far as articulation is concerned, and definitely can get some great flight poses out of this Nova figure. Nova measures in at just over 6 inches tall. For size comparison, here's Nova standing next to his fellow cosmic hero, Drax. Here's Nova standing next to Marvel Legends Infinite Series Wolverine. And here's Nova standing with some of his fellow Secret Avengers. Alright toy fans, that's my review of the Marvel Legends Infinite Series 2014 Guardians of the Galaxy Way Nova figure, and this guy is purely fantastic. Now I know I've been bragging about a lot of the figures I review lately, and trust me guys, I will get to some bad Legends and bad other figures, it's just I've got so many good ones to start out with. But this Nova figure is really something special. The way they've molded that plastic with that metallic or that glittery blue plastic, the light just dances off of this guy at any angle you set him at. He really is truly something special to behold. I highly encourage you guys to pick up this figure. Now he is one per case, so he's pretty tough to come by, but I think if you go through the effort to get this figure, you will not be disappointed. So definitely give him a shot and see what he's all about. Well, that's my review, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to rate, share, and subscribe if you like this video. Also, be sure to hit me up on Twitter at D21Beast. I'd love to talk to you guys, interact with you, and get the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.